Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void.
Hello, Cancer Moon people. Welcome to your October New Moon reading. Welcome if it's your first time, and welcome back if it is your second. We're just getting this party going with Great Mother speaking to us through our thoughts, emotions, reactions. That is our moon sign. So if you don't know what that is, just go to the link below and click either the Western. Most of us in the Western world, of course, we go according to our Western sign where sun rules all. And so you probably know your sun sign, what sign the sun was in when you were born, but you probably don't know your moon sign. And that's what we're focusing on because Great Mother is lunar energy. If you are empathic, highly sensitive, or a very intuitive person, you might want to check out your Vedic moon sign. Vedic signs are ruled by the rising sign, which is where the sun was on the horizon where you were born and when you were born. More details about that if you click that link below. Now, this month, new moon is the first one after that very powerful harvest full moon we had 2 weeks ago. You might want to go and listen to that October full moon reading for your moon sign because that energy is still resonating and will be resonating for the next about 4 to 5 months. It's kind of in tandem with what has happened since the eclipse at the end of August. And so all of this has culminated into this new moon season as we're going into the winter darkening months. And so, of course, this is the dark moon, which is the moon of seeding. This is an internal seeding process. Even when you're planting, during the planting season, which those of our cousins in the southern hemisphere are doing now in the spring season, these are for plants that will actually be root plants, tubers, beans that grow underground, nuts that grow underground, those kinds of things, because it's the dark moon, and it's an internal process. That process in which we're going toward the dark in the northern hemisphere after this full moon is the beginning of the lunar phase that we're looking at our inner lives more closely. We celebrate the Day of the Dead at the end of this month, and that has everything to do with going into the darkness past that veil, and the veil of the mask that we wear in this lifetime, that ego veil, that sun in the Western astrology, and in the Vedic astrology it would be the rising, that veil of who we present ourselves to be, or just the apparatus that the soul dons this lifetime. Leo moon people, Great Mother is coming through for you, saying that right now you are in a place of rebirth. There, for some of you, may be a sacrificing of something. And of course, sacrifice means to give up something of value for something of greater value. And so there's a real kind of a rejuvenation process going on here that has to do with releasing what no longer serves you in order to live a more fulfilling life. And this is in real terms. I mean, there's something happening with a relationship, a financial circumstance, or a health condition that is really taking you to the core of your being, and you are releasing it quite powerfully. And that's where you are right now. This transformation is as a result of feeling some form of abandonment or abuse. We have the Nut Egyptian goddess card here, the orphan card, with Dorothy at the opening scene of the movie The Wizard of Oz when Miss Gulch chases her off of her property, chases Toto off, which symbolizes her intuition. And so there has been this download of information that you cannot deny, that regardless of what outer circumstances may be, you know, that something isn't right with this health condition, something isn't right with this financial circumstance, with this relationship, and it's time to let it go. Great Mother is encouraging you to sustain yourself and reconstitute yourself in nature. The seasons are changing, and of course in the northern hemisphere, where it may be getting a little cooler, it may be time to just really go outside and enjoy the leaves falling. I know the weather has been very erratic, and so it might not be the first thing that you want to do, but you might be surprised how powerful those energies are. Of course, we create the energy in the collective consciousness for weather. We produce the weather through the noosphere, and you may find it quite empowering to do some earthing, standing barefoot outside, in those leaves, on the ground, in the sand, wherever you are, to reconstitute yourself, because you've done all that you can do in the outer world to fix this. There's nothing else that you can do about it. That's what the Primordial Mother card is telling us with Adi Shakti here, Leo Moon people. That fire to do something, that desire, this Ankh represents the second chakra, and it's connected to our inner knowing, isn't it? It's the sacral chakra, and sacral, of course, is related to the sacred. That sacred space of our dream state is where a lot of this is working itself out, and where a lot of the confirmation that you've already received about this circumstance has occurred. So you've done all that you can do, and it's just a matter of trusting that and having compassion for yourself as you move forward. Because we're showing in the shadow position, Kuan Yin, this is allowing others to assist you. They may already be friends and family and people calling that you haven't talked to in a long time, people that you really have a strong heart connection with, that are just there for you. You maybe haven't talked to them, because it's something that you're ashamed of, or that is an inconvenient truth. It may be uncomfortable or unflattering. That's our shadow side, these things that we kind of go through on our own sometimes, or we accept about our existence and don't want to share with others for those reasons. But what Great Mother is saying is that have compassion for yourself. That doesn't mean that you have to share exactly what's going on with you with others, but it's important that you do that internally with yourself in a loving way, because you're dancing around your personal power, Leo people. So with all of that fire, sometimes we can kind of be distracted by kind of sharing the flame, and lighting the flame for others to see, instead of kind of holding it near and dear to ourselves, which is the next evolutionary phase of fire and Sagittarius, that wisdom. But all of us have all of the power of the signs within us, and so with this emotional state and this reaction to what you're experiencing right now, with this rebirth that's happening, this death that's happening, this resurrection, this Osiris Horus type resurrection in your life, taking your power back means that you must own your personal power now. And so you're kind of dancing around doing that. And so how do you do that? A lot of times people say, you need to do this, you need to do that, all these spiritual kind of dictates. And how do we do it? Well, Great Mother is saying that for you, Leo, in this new moon, if you're going by Western, which is in Libra, which has to do with diplomacy and the struggle to maintain balance and equilibrium, peace, okay, because that people-pleasing balance with self-needs, if you're there, it has to do with the law of Divine Father, which is what you do. Okay, Great Father is about what we do. Great Mother is about who we are and how we feel. So Mother Mary with the double yang card standing alone is out of balance if we look at the symbolism of the two yangs. But with Mother Mary energy here in the law of Divine Father, that's telling us that this very strong active energy is balanced by the maternal energy that inspires it. So what is inspiring you that you have not been allowed to give birth to because of holding on to a tendency not to live up to your power? This people pleasing, this kind of dancing around it. Why is that happening? Why? Think about that. Think about that, Leo Moon people, and come up with an answer. Why is it? Because this needs to be released in order for you to embrace your personal power. Okay, whatever that is that you're doing to not be in a full place of power right now, whether it is not accepting recognition in areas that you may not have envisioned that you would be recognized for. Sometimes people are promoted to positions in jobs that they don't even want. And other people are like, oh man, so-and-so got the job. And sometimes people really don't even want it. Or that they're given some other type of attention or accolades that basically means you have to live up to it. And if that's not where your heart is, we're seeing Kuan Yin with this heart chakra, which is the shadow card here. It's hard to be compassionate with yourself because we're not living our truth. And so the law of Divine Father is about the law, the logos, the word. What is that word for you? And that is where your personal power lies. And that is where you will see it's being compromised, because what needs to be embodied is the reality that the Earth Father energy, and of course in the eastern part of the world, many Asian cultures, and Egyptian as well, the Earth God exists. And it's not just about Earth Mother. And so again, this balancing of the yin-yang for you is about embodying the truth. Self-inquiry is about questioning any thought or idea that makes us feel less than the divine child of the great Mother, Father, God that we are. I know that's a mouthful, but that is who we are. We're spirits having a human experience. So as you look at what this power struggle is within you that is needing to be released in order for you to fully own who you are at this moment, and to release the abandonment and abuse tendencies that are occurring in your life at this time, be it trying to maintain balance as a Libra moon, or you're trying to maintain with the Libra new moon, or if you are working with the energies of a Virgo new moon with Vedic astrology, that's scrutinizing, daily work, self-healing energy. Anything that's not making you feel good about how you're taking care of yourself, anything that's making you feel criticized or guilty about how you're ordering your day and organizing your life, anything that is overly critical. These types of things that make us react as if we are less than the gods and goddesses that we are. These cards simply represent variant energies of the great Mother, Father, God, as we are. So in your mythos, in your story that is occurring right now, question anything that does not make you feel like the divine child of the great Mother, Father, God that you are. Simply here having a human experience. You're not being judged. You're not here to be judged. You're not here to be condemned. You're here to have an experience, an evolutionary experience. So ask that thought, idea, or judgment, is it true? Is this thought that I am not doing the very best that I can in this moment, is that true? And if it's not, away with you. Away with you. It's not true. And so this is how we, thought by thought, idea by idea, we work with our emotions, and we cultivate an emotional state that allows us to be present. Again, many of these spiritual dictates say be present and live in the now and all of these wonderful things we aspire to, but there are no instructions. Great Mother instructs us daily through our premonitions, our intuition, and through what we know. And so now that she has shared that with you, Leo Moon, I hope that in this new moon, you find that the outcome she is offering you of integrity will be the serum, will be the healing balm that you need. Integrity is telling ourselves the truth, and you can do it. If any of the moon signs can do it, Leo moon sign can do it with self-love and compassion.
Great Mother,
I want to thank you for listening. And remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Dark matter, the void, the black hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana.